This is Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest-running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I'm Wee Gamboa.
And I'm Tim Gamboa. As Motoring Today has done for more than a decade now, at the end of every year we present a report on the happenings, events, and issues that relate to or affect everything motoring in the year that is ending. All things good or bad that affect our everyday motoring experience, as well as that of commuters, pedestrians, and the general public.
So please stay tuned. When we return, we begin a month-on-month review of our motoring coverage in the year of 2024.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so yo. Everybody know I'm on it. You know when they click through to the send it's about to be a show, big fun.
Yaris Cross, HEV, electrify your passions.
Toyota, move your world.
Welcome back to our report on the happenings, events, and issues that relate to or affect everything motoring in 2024. But before we begin, a caveat. In this year-end special, we return to presenting our review on a month-to-month basis, which means the events or issues presented may not have happened on the same month. We reported it in our weekly edition of Motoring Today.
The year begins with fears about minimum transport fares rising because of government's implementation of its PUV modernization program. House Representative Bonifacio Bosita warns that minimum fares could rise up to 30 to 40 pesos to help drivers cover daily costs of 6,000 to 7,000 pesos for modern jeepneys. Bosita noted that the cost of modernizing jeepneys is impacting drivers and operators more than transport authorities anticipated. While LTFRB officials acknowledged this, they pointed out that cheaper modern jeepneys are now available for about 980,000 pesos. The LTFRB isn't planning a fare increase to support the modernization program. Then reports turned to the transport groups criticizing the government's preference for imported over locally made modern public utility vehicles in the implementation of the PUV modernization program. LTFRB Chairman Teofilo Guades clarified that buyers are free to choose modern jeepneys provided they meet safety standards. Government has no say in their choices. This clarification follows Senator Raffy Tulfo airing concerns about potential corruption favoring imports over local manufacturers. The LTFRB's clarification was welcomed by local jeepney makers, including Elmer Francisco of Francisco Motors. With a January 31 deadline approaching, unconsolidated jeepneys risk being declared illegal. Beyond that date, individual franchises of PUV jeepneys that have not applied for consolidation would be considered canceled and cannot operate legally, the LTFRB warned. But Piston Transport Group members insist they will continue operating despite potential penalties, questioning the LTFRB's authority to unilaterally suspend or cancel their franchises. Bad news welcome motorists in the new year. LTO is reinstating a strict no registration, no travel policy with fines for offenders. The LTO said about 65% of vehicles in the Philippines are unregistered. Strict implementation of the policy aims to force owners to register or renew the registration of their vehicles. To be fair, the LTO said it was simplifying the renewal process. It is said that the main cause of traffic congestion is too many vehicles sharing limited road space. Then this is bad tidings in February. The automotive industry predicts vehicle sales to grow between 10 and 15% in 2024, building on the 429,000 units sold in 2023. This forecast was shared by executives at a recent transportation forum hosted by the Chamber of Automotive Manufacturers of the Philippines. With projections for increased hybrid and electric vehicles on the roads in 2024, transport authorities must prepare strategies to manage the impacts of rising vehicle numbers, mainly traffic congestion. The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority sees no need for a traffic czar to manage the city's traffic issues. MMDA aired this after the Management Association of the Philippines suggested appointing a traffic czar, especially following Metro Manila's recent designation of the worst traffic congestion among urban centers. MAP proposes dividing the area into zone traffic management sectors overseen by the proposed czar while prioritizing the development of efficient mass transport systems. The LTO under Vigor Mendoza II is pushing for fully digitalizing its processes. Mendoza outlined the advantages of digitalization, including reduced human interaction and decreased opportunities for corruption. Though connectivity issues remain a hurdle in some provinces, efforts continue to ensure seamless transactions. When fully digitalized, the LTO hopes to enhance user experiences, as many motorists have reported satisfaction from utilizing online appointment systems effectively. The Management Association of the Philippines, or MAP, is presenting new ideas to address Metro Manila's traffic crisis, recognizing vehicle volume as a key issue. MAP suggests shifting traffic management policies away from car-centric approaches to prioritize public transportation and alternate mobility solutions, such as expanding sidewalks and creating cycling networks. Proposals also include congestion charges for private vehicles with insufficient occupancy during peak hours and a more efficient franchising system for jeepneys and buses. Early in the year, the Department of Transportation is actively considering the privatization of the EDSA busway, spurred by an unsolicited proposal from a large conglomerate. While specifics of the proposal remain undisclosed, DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista indicated a preference for a formal bidding process for the busway's management. Support for this move has been echoed by various stakeholders calling for fast-track privatization efforts. E. Francisco Motor continues to air radical solutions for public transport. This time, it's flying jeepneys or vans. It says it is partnering with Luftcar to explore the developing flying jeepneys or vans named Luft Pinoy eVTOL. The two firms formalized their collaboration through a memorandum of agreement that includes investment, development, integration, deployment, branding, and marketing of Luftcar branded aerial vehicles powered by hydrogen propulsion utilizing an EFMC vehicle platform. In March, the Land Transportation Office begins to moving towards mandatory registration and licensing for e-trikes, responding to traffic violations and accidents involving these vehicles. Officials from the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority and the Department of Transportation initiated discussions to address the disruptive behavior of e-trike users on national highways. Meanwhile, local government units began apprehending and impounding e-trikes used as public transport. In a move to appease motorists, the Metro Manila Council approves MMDA Regulation No. 24-022 Series of 2024, which prohibits e-bikes, e-trikes, tricycles, pedicabs, pushcarts, and kuligligs from national, circumferential, and radial roads across Metro Manila, essentially a ban on e-bikes and e-trikes from major roads. The MMDA resolution specified 19 thoroughfares where e-trikes are banned beginning on April 15, 2024. Into the third month of the year, the Department of Transportation reports significant progress in the Metro Manila Subway project, now registering a 40% completion rate. This follows an inspection of the project by DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista, who was accompanied by Finance Secretary Ralph Recto and Japan International Cooperation Agency Chief Representative Takema Sakamoto. The DOTR added that it anticipates the arrival of additional tunnel boring machines to further expedite construction efforts. Commuters benefiting from the smooth operation of the MRT-3 should be thanking the Czech Republic for providing essential maintenance support for the CKD Tatra train sets. Czech Ambassador Karel Hedge recently visited the MRT-3 depot and expressed admiration for how well the Czech-made trains are being maintained. Georgette Aquino, MRT-3's officer in charge, said this is thanks to the Czech Republic's ongoing support in providing timely spare parts essential for train operations. Those who fear railways are no longer a priority of the Marcos administration were appeased by news that completion of the North-South Commuter Railway by 2028 before the term of the president ends. The Philippine National Railways also reported that construction of the initial phase of NSCR from Clark to Valenzuela City in Metro Manila is nearing completion. Civil works for the railway line spanning Metro Manila to Alabang, as well as from Alabang to Laguna, were also set to commence in April. However, in order to facilitate the construction of the NSCR, the PNR announced it would suspend operations in Metro Manila for 5 years, starting in the Holy Week. The DOTR Undersecretary said the suspension would not only expedite the completion of the NSCR project but would also save billions in construction costs. Services between Governor Pascual in Malabon City and Tutuban in Manila, as well as between Tutuban and Alabang in Muntinlupa City, were also to be discontinued. Commuters relying on PNR Metro train services will need to explore alternative transportation options in the interim. With the April 31 deadline for consolidation fast approaching, the LTFRB reports that 96% of public utility jeepneys in Metro Manila have already complied with the mandate. The LTFRB also stated that the nationwide consolidation rate has reached around 80%. LTFRB Chairperson Teofilo Guadis III attributed these figures to the government's commitment to enforcing the PUVMP, which provides jeepney operators with a time frame of up to 4 years to modernize their operations, accompanied by a subsidy for down payments on modernized units.
The year 2024 started well enough, with more good news than bad. Will this mix continue into the next 3 months? Find out when we return after this break.
We dream to create a world where energy is at its full potential. Powerful, yet peaceful. Exhilarating without excess. A world where energy ignites beauty. Transcending our limitations towards limitless possibilities. With smooth acceleration to multiple destinations. For a better tomorrow, where energy augments our everyday into a life so effortless. Welcome to a new beginning. Where performance and sustainability thrive together, moving you towards a beautiful life. With energy that's powerful, electrifying, life-changing. Honda, transform the future.
Welcome back to our year-end review of all things motoring and motorist-related events and issues that occurred or affected us all in the year 2024. Here are some of the events and issues we reported on in the last 3 months.
In April, news about the government stepping up efforts to privatize the EDSA busway spread. The DOTR and the Public-Private Partnership Center have begun consulting private groups on how best to privatize the EDSA busway, which is benefiting thousands of Metro Manila commuters daily. The consultation sought to identify potential issues or concerns affecting the project's viability. The DOTR expects to finalize the feasibility study on the EDSA busway privatization, submit it to the National Economic and Development Authority, and secure the necessary approvals in the next few months. The DOTR expects to bid out the EDSA busway privatization project by 2025. The LTO announced that it would resume issuing regular plastic driver's licenses by April 15 after the Court of Appeals lifted the injunction preventing the agency from receiving the plastic cards from contractor Banner Plastic Card. The LTO also promised that those who were issued printed paper driver's licenses can begin the process of exchanging them for regular plastic card licenses on April 15. April was good for tollway developers, at least for proponents of the Central Luzon Link Expressway, which is part of the Luzon Spine Expressway network extending from Ilocos to Bicol. Zambales Governor Hermogenes Ebdana Jr. announced that the right-of-way issues delaying the CC Lex had been resolved in a meeting with landowners and farmers affected by the construction of the tollway. Construction of the next phase of the Central Luzon Link Expressway project would resume in the second quarter of the year, he said. The bad practice of vehicle owners abusing or misusing protocol plates reared its ugly head again. And of course, it happened with an SUV caught inside the EDSA busway. Senator Cheese Escudero later admitted the number 7 protocol plates were issued to him, but then claimed they were being used without his authority by the driver of a family member. The official reaction? The DOTR said the driver would be summoned for possible sanctions and penalties. MMDA Acting Chair Romando Artes called on the LTO to reissue protocol plates bearing QR to readily identify to whom they were issued. The MMDA announced it would assist the LTO and LTFRB in going after public utility jeepneys still operating past April 30 without initiating the process to consolidate into co-ops or corporations. The LTFRB had earlier reported that 80% of PUVs nationwide has complied with the consolidation mandate, but it warned that individual franchises of units that have not consolidated would be revoked. There was also welcome news for motorcycle riders. The DOTR was considering a dedicated and exclusive lane for motorcycles on EDSA following rider complaints about having to share their designated lanes with four-wheeled vehicles. The MMDA previously noted that an average of 427,000 vehicles traverse EDSA each day, with motorcycles comprising approximately 170,000 of that number. May also saw the launch of a new ride-hailing platform that touts itself as an all-Filipino outfit fully supporting both rider and driver partners. The name of the new platform speaks volumes: United Transport Operations League, or UTOL for short. UTOL said it aims to onboard accredited TNV operators to utilize its ride-hailing application with aspirations to expand nationally after initially serving the National Capital Region. Metro Manila is moving towards a single ticketing system for traffic violations. Traffic enforcers from 10 Metro Manila LGUs were authorized by the MMDA to issue traffic violation tickets under a single ticketing system. This followed a recent Supreme Court ruling affirming the MMDA's jurisdiction to regulate traffic in Metro Manila while limiting LGU's ability to issue their own traffic violation tickets without being deputized. It's still the month of May, yet already LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza was expressing optimism that the agency would resolve backlogs in issuing plastic driver's licenses and motor vehicle license plates by July 1. Mendoza reported to President Marcos that the LTO has secured a steady supply of plastic cards to meet ongoing demands through the end of the year. He assured the president that temporary motor vehicle license plates would no longer be issued by July 1. In June, those looking to get customized plates learned that the LTO has exhausted all 2- and 3-digit special number combinations for license plates. The LTO said remaining options include any 3 letters plus 4-digit numbers except 0000 for a fee of 35,000 plus registration costs. As always, there's good news and bad news. In June, it's word from the DOTR that the much-awaited MRT-7 would be operational by the end of 2025. That's the good news. Then there's the not-so-good news. Only 12 of the planned 14 stations, all in Quezon City, are likely to be operational by then. The Bulacan stations will have to wait a few years more. When fully finished, the 22-kilometer MRT-7 will feature 14 stations, including 2 in Bulacan, 1 in Tala, and another in San Jose del Monte. By June, MMDA should be enforcing the ban on e-trikes and similar vehicles on major roads and imposing fines on violators after a grace period. Originally slated to take effect in early May, President Bongbong Marcos extended a grace period until May 18, supposedly to allow time for the public to familiarize themselves with the ban and associated penalties, including a 2,500 peso fine. The LTO began working with local governments to distribute license plates for passenger tricycles to address backlogs and aiming to clear motorcycle license plate issues by June 2025. This started in barangays in Quezon City, and the LTO plans to replicate the process in other cities with similar backlogs. This initiative aligns with President Bongbong Marcos' directive to alleviate the backlog of vehicle license plates, particularly for motorcycles and tricycles, which many depend on for their livelihoods. News reports say the DOTR is considering the realignment of the two MRT-7 stations in Bulacan due to ongoing right-of-way issues raised by local businesses and communities in San Jose del Monte. San Jose del Monte Mayor Arthur Robes said that the city was willing to accommodate potential delays for the project, asserting the importance of safeguarding public welfare during construction. LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza II urged motorists to update the registration papers of second-hand vehicles to reflect the new owner's details. This is necessary to avoid complications related to accidents or criminal investigations, according to LTO officials. This reminder follows a recent incident in Makati where a foreign national was initially treated as a suspect due to an outdated registration data. This may have sparked an order that would have the LTO penalizing failure to immediately update registration papers later in the year. Over 100 potential drivers registered during the initial UTOL TNVS caravan, assisting them with vehicle acquisition and registration. UTOL, or the Unified Transport Operations League, is 100% Filipino-owned ride-hailing transport network company. UTOL lured applicants with a promise to assist them in acquiring Toyota vehicles to be used as TNVS unit from Toyota Pasong Tamo, its partner in the new TNC endeavor. The DOTR claims there are enough PUV jeepneys to satisfy transport needs of commuters in Metro Manila. Transport Secretary Jaime Bautista even said some routes even have excess units, prompting plans to optimize these routes through the local public transport route plan to be undertaken with local government units. The DOTR reported that Phase 1 of the LRT-1 Cavite Extension Project is 98.2% complete and should be operational by year-end. This phase extends the line by 6.2 kilometers from the Baclaran Station in Pasay City to Dr. Santos Station in Parañaque with 5 new stations. This extension is projected to handle up to 300,000 passengers daily and link the Dr. Santos Station to a major intermodal transit hub. June saw more good news for commuters from south of Metro Manila, with the Parañaque Integrated Terminal Exchange hosting new bus routes. PITX began hosting bus operators providing transport to Dagupan and San Carlos City in Pangasinan, as well as a new route to Tuguegarao City in Cagayan. The Department of Public Works and Highways awarded the T-Plex Extension Project to San Miguel Holdings Corporation. The 23.4 billion project will extend the Tarlac-Pangasinan-La Union Expressway by constructing a 59.4-kilometer 4-lane expressway to San Juan in La Union. The T-Plex extension will boost not only accessibility toward the north, but also tourism and the agricultural sector. In June, the LTO and the Quezon City local government warned that from July 1, a no-plate, no-travel policy will be implemented on tricycles operating in the city. The LTO issued a memorandum that said, any tricycle found operating without a valid license plate shall be apprehended, while appropriate legal action and penalties in accordance with existing laws and regulations shall be imposed. In the same month, the LTO also warned dealerships about potential fines for delays in distributing license plates and registration documents. The LTO said at least 28 motorcycle and car dealerships face fines between 20,000 pesos and 500,000 pesos, as well as suspension of accreditation up to 6 months for failing to release of ORCRs and license plates in the prescribed time. The LTO urged owners of newly bought motor vehicles to immediately report agents and car and motorcycle dealerships that seem to take too long in getting them their ORCRs and license plates. Construction of the Banlic Depot for the North-South Commuter Railway has begun, signaling more rapid progress for the project to establish 147-kilometer railway line from Pampanga and Bulacan to Metro Manila and Laguna. Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista said the construction of the depot follows preparatory work that included geotechnical investigation, fencing, clearing, erecting temporary project site offices, and access roads.
Threading through our coverage of the first 6 months of the year are e-trikes, the stare down between transport groups and the transport authorities over consolidation and modernization, railways, and tollways. Will those threads continue into the next 6 months? Stick around with us to find out after the break.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so yo. Everybody know I'm you know when the click through to the system is about to be a show be fun.
Yaris Cross, HEV. Electrify your passions.
Toyota, move your world.
Hello, I'm Johan Tiu from Sonax Philippines. We are at LG2 E. Rodriguez, and we will be showcasing our new DIY line, what we call the Extreme Ceramic Series from Sonax. The next one that we're gonna show you how to use is a ceramic ultra slick detailer. So this product is your quick solution to instantly apply a ceramic coating on your car and also instantly clean it. Give it an instant gloss, instant solution for a gloss. So this is very easy to use. So you just spray on a clean microfiber cloth, then just apply it on the body of your car. Oh, but make sure your car is also clean and doesn't have any dirt. So after applying, spray some water so you can see the water beading hydrophobic effect instantly. So this product can give you a ceramic coating that could last you around 8 to 16 car washes. So there you go. So that's how easy it is to apply the Extreme Ceramic Series from Sonax. For more information, you can visit our FB page, which is Sonax PH Official, our IG page, which is also Sonax PH Official, and TikTok page, which is also Sonax PH Official. So it's very easy to find us. Thank you.
Got my fingers on the pulse, avocado and toast, leather seats, jet plane, always ready to go. Can't stop loving what I got. Ooh, yeah, it hits the spot. Feeling myself. I'm a real cool cat. I'm a real
Welcome back to our report on the happenings, events, and issues that relate to or affect everything motoring in 2024. We are now into what Motoring Today reported, recorded, and covered in the third quarter of the year.
SMC seems to be insatiable when it comes to tollways. According to the TRB, the conglomerate led by Ramon Ang has 323 billion pesos worth of tollway projects on the construction or pre-construction stage and on final planning stages. NALEX is a 136.4 kilometer tollway from Metro Manila to the new airport in Bulacan, costing 148.3 billion pesos, with Phase 1 starting late 2024. SALEX is a 40.65 kilometer connection between NMIA and NAIA, expected to start early next year at a cost of 152.39 billion pesos. SLEX TR5 is a 60-kilometer tollway from Lucena to Gumaca, costing 22.6 billion pesos, also beginning construction next year. Also reported in July is the Light Rail Manila Corporation partnering with Hankyu Corporation for technical assistance to enhance LRT-1 operations, especially for the upcoming Cavite extension. The partnership will capitalize on Hankyu's expertise in railway operations, maintenance, non-fare revenue generation, land value capture, and urban development planning. The LTO single ticketing system is spreading outside of Metro Manila. Baguio City was reported to have signed an agreement with the LTO to streamline traffic enforcement and penalties, enhancing road safety through smart mobility solutions. This agreement may also lead to the exchange of best practices and cooperative efforts for road safety, which could be beneficial for other local government units with similar agreements with the LTO. The MPT South Management Corporation is targeting the completion of all right-of-way issues for the remaining segments of the 44.57-kilometer Cavite-Laguna Expressway by the end of the year to facilitate completion of the project by the third quarter of 2025. The LTO reportedly caught over 10,000 unregistered vehicles in just 1 month, manifesting its commitment to ensure all vehicles on the road are registered and roadworthy. The LTO said drivers of 9,212 unregistered vehicles received traffic violation tickets, while 1,601 vehicles, many of which were used for public transport, had been impounded. The penalty for operating unregistered vehicles on public roads is 10,000 pesos. Those looking forward to a metro subway are heartened by news that 2 new tunnel boring machines were set to arrive. These are expected to further expedite tunnel construction for Metro Subway project, which will consist of 17 stations in Metro Manila. Already, 4 tunnel boring machines are operational nearly around the clock for the 33-kilometer Metro Manila Subway project. Starting in July, the LTO and the Quezon City government have intensified efforts to apprehend tricycles without license plates on city streets. In the first week of enforcing the no plate, no travel policy, 101 tricycles were impounded. The LTO said members of various local tricycle operators and drivers associations supported the drive. Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista revealed that the DOTR intends to file an arbitration case against Chinese train manufacturer CCC Dalian. Bautista said that Dalian trains delivered for use in the MRT-3 did not meet contract specifications. However, Dalian is working on solutions to render the trains operational. Also well received is the news that motorists who have not yet received their regular plastic card licenses can now request to have them printed and sent them via courier. Motorists can use the hotline Aksyon on the spot 0929-292-0865 to order the replacement for their paper-printed licenses. The DPWH said that San Miguel Holdings Corporation finalized in July a 23.36 billion peso public-private partnership contract to extend the Tarlac-Pangasinan-La Union Expressway or TPLEX to San Juan La Union. This extension aims to facilitate access to the northern surfing capital. With a contract signed, detailed engineering design and right-of-way acquisition for the 59.4-kilometer extension can commence. In August, transport authorities appear to be softening its stance anew against those opposing consolidation of individual PUV jeepney franchises. The LTFRB is reported to have issued a resolution letting unconsolidated jeepneys and UV Express units to operate in over 2,500 low-authorized routes without needing consolidation applications. Rationalizing the decision, the LTFRB said Board Resolution Number 53 ensures continued public transportation supply. However, the LTFRB said that this is still subject to approval of the Local Public Transport Route Plan or the Route Rationalization Plan of local government units. The MMDA introduced a high-tech mobile command center to improve event monitoring and emergency responses, featuring advanced communication systems and surveillance capabilities. Donated by Globe Telecom, the MCC is equipped with a state-of-the-art communication systems such as a portable command and dispatch system, multi-mode radio and remote CCTVs and drone capabilities. Bicolano commuters welcomed August news that the PNR has added one more daily trip for its commuter train service between Naga City and Camarines Sur and Legazpi City in Alabay. The additional trip for the train with a capacity of 400 passengers starts at around 10 a.m. daily. This development is meant to meet higher demand for transportation with the start of the new school year. The LTO introduced in August an online platform for the theoretical driving course, offering flexibility for applicants to complete the course remotely. The online platform will give professionals and students balancing work or academic commitments the flexibility to complete the course within the comfort of their homes, at their own pace, during their free time, at the office, or any location that suits them, the LTO said. Seeking to gain more support for the PUV modernization program, the DOTR revealed it was working on a plan to buy old jeepneys from operators and drivers to provide them with additional capital for purchasing new units. Transportation Secretary Bautista said the vehicle useful life buyback program also seeks to eliminate old jeepneys from the road and prevent their use as colorum vehicles. Also during August Senate hearing, Senator Raffy Tulfo called on the LTO and the MMDA to stop giving traffic enforcers commissions from fines and penalties imposed on motorists for traffic violations. Senator Tulfo had earlier filed a bill seeking to sanction traffic enforcers who mistakenly cite motorists, whether deliberately or not, for violations. He said Senate Bill 1976 intends to hold erring traffic enforcers accountable for their actions and prevent them from abusing their authority. SMC SLEX Incorporated began installing automatic license plate readers to improve toll collection and plans to widen SLEX for better traffic flow. It also announced that it was upgrading its servers to further improve their capacity to handle the growing number of vehicles using the tollway. September brought unwelcome news to tollway users. Motorists are warned not to enter tollways without updated RFID tags and sufficient load. The TRB confirmed news reports that the circular permitting tollways to impose fines beginning in September on motorists without updated RFID tags and sufficient load has been approved. Metro Pacific Tollways Corporation President and CEO Rogelio L. Singson noted that these fines aim to facilitate the implementation of a comprehensive cashless collection system at tollways. Tagaytay City has partnered with the LTO to integrate its traffic enforcement into the LTO's single ticketing system, enhancing road safety and discipline. Tagaytay Mayor Abraham Tolentino said that this partnership will be crucial for fostering road discipline and improving public safety throughout the city. In response to public outcry against the fines for motors without RFID tags or insufficient loads, the Department of Transportation postponed the policy's implementation to October 1. DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista said the postponement would provide tollway operators adequate time to inform users about the fines and help vehicle owners obtain RFID accounts and tags. The LTO announced that motor vehicle owners can continue using temporary or improvised license plates until December 31, 2024. Use of temporary plates was supposed to end in September after the LTO claimed it has resolved the backlog. In extending the deadline, the LTO urged motor vehicle owners to claim and install their license plates as soon as they are available, either from the car dealerships or, in the case of replacement plates, at LTO offices. The Manila-Cavite Expressway or Cavitex aired plans to fully implement a cashless payment system at all toll plazas, requiring motorists to install and utilize RFIDs for toll payments. PEA Tollway Corporation said it would eliminate all cash lanes, directing vehicles without RFIDs to designated areas for installation. The TRB earlier said this transition forms part of broader efforts towards a contactless payment system across all expressways, aiming for complete RFID adherence by the end of the year. Enhancing convenience for individuals needing to settle traffic fines and obtain clearances, the MMDA opened a new satellite office at Robinson's Galleria, Ortigas. The satellite office will facilitate payments and services including lifting alarms for drivers listed with the LTO and processing clearances for outstanding traffic violations.
What trended in the third quarter of 2024? LTO successes and the failures. Tollways struggling to go full cashless transactions. PUV modernization versus pesky traditional jeepney drivers and operators. Let's find out what the final quarter of 2024 brings when we return after the break.
I've been coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I go so everybody know I'm on it. You know when it click through to the system is about to be a show big fun.
Yaris Cross, HEV. Electrify your passions.
Toyota, move your world.
Are you into grassroots racing, slaloms, autocross, time attacks, and circuit racing? Do you like to keep your daily ride in tip-top condition? Do you want to improve the performance and ride of your vehicle? Then head over to Fixed Stop Auto Service along 91 Congressional Avenue, Project 8 in Quezon City. Fixed Stop Auto Service can level up the performance and ride of your daily ride or weekend racer of all brands, models, and makes, from Japanese, American, European, and all other global manufacturers. Fixed Stop Auto Service offers preventive maintenance services, as well as upgrades of brakes, suspension, and other mechanical works. Fixed Stop also caters to all your needs for performance tires and accessories to make your dream vehicle stand out on the road or for just your enjoyment. For appointments, call 0917-803-8283 or message us on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/fixedstopautoservice.
Welcome back to our year-end special, a review of the events and issues that affected motorists and motoring in the year now ending. We've already gone through the first 9 months of the year, and now we'll be looking at what happened in the final 3 months.
The implementation of penalties for motorists without RFID accounts was deferred to January 2025. The deferment doesn't mean the DOTR will not make cashless tollway collection mandatory, according to the Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista. The LTO was reported in October to have a need for more and working breathalyzers to enforce anti-drunk driving laws. LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza II admitted during congressional hearings that only 288 of the 756 breathalyzers the agency procured back in 2015 and 2017 could be fixed and recalibrated. The LTO is now considering whether to fix and recalibrate the remaining workable breathalyzers or acquire totally new ones. The LTO declared the pilot project for online driver's license renewals for OFWs held in Taiwan a success. LTO Chief Mendoza said learnings from pilot project would be used to implement similar programs for OFWs in the United States, several European countries, and the Middle East. The MMDA revealed plans for a dedicated bus lane on Commonwealth Avenue to alleviate congestion. MMDA Acting Chairman Romando Artes said traffic congestion in Commonwealth Avenue has gotten worse and that an EDSA busway type of operation was being eyed as a solution. Also being eyed is the construction of a tunnel underneath the Quezon Elliptical Circular to link Commonwealth Avenue directly to Quezon Avenue or East Avenue. An interagency committee was created to deal with right-of-way issues delaying the construction of the Metro Manila Subway and the North-South Commuter Railway projects. One major right-of-way obstacle to the subway project involves around 40 homes in Corinthian Gardens, an enclave of the rich in Quezon City, according to Transportation Secretary Bautista. ROW issues in San Fernando, Pampanga were also causing delays to the North-South Commuter Railway project. October saw reports of the merger between Metro Pacific Tollways and San Miguel Corporation nearing completion. This was revealed by MPTC President and CEO Rogelio Singson, who said that the merger of MPTC and SMC Tollways will only be at the holding company level and that the entities operating respective tollways were not going to be affected. The DOTR reported that it was preparing to finally implement the Road Speed Limiter Act of 2016. The DOTR, the LTO, and the LTFRB have begun holding talks with transport operators about the installation of speed limiters. The law mandates all PUVs, closed vans, cargo haulers, shuttle services to install speed limiters before they can be registered with the LTO. The LTO PITX Licensing Center began offering vehicle registration renewal services for added convenience in October. Since it first opened in 2022, the LTO PITX Licensing Center has made it very convenient for drivers to renew their licenses at the major transportation hub. It expects to provide the same to owners seeking to renew the registration of their vehicles. Groundbreaking rites were held in October for construction of the Ayala Greenfield Interchange in Calamba. DOTR Undersecretary for Road Transport Jesus Ortega said the interchange would provide another convenient access into and out of the SLEX and help ease traffic congestion. The LTO suspended implementation of regulations mandating registration of all light electric vehicles. It also suspended the mandatory use of standard protective motorcycle helmets for LEV users. But LTO Chief Mendoza clarified that the suspension of the LEV registration, use of motorcycle helmets, licenses for operating LEVs would not affect ordinances implemented in various local government units regulating the use of LEVs on public roads. Public utility jeepney operators were given until November 25 to submit their applications for consolidation. The LTFRB opened a 45-day window period for PUV jeepney operators and drivers to apply for consolidation and benefit from incentives under the PUV modernization program. LTFRB Chairman Guadez said the window for consolidation was a response to the Senate's resolution urging a delay in modernization program's implementation. Guadez indicated that those who apply for consolidation during this period will automatically become eligible for fuel subsidies, adding that fresh applications were received following the reopening of this window. Heading into the penultimate month of the year, MMDA Chairman Romando Artes instructed enforcement officers to prioritize traffic management over issuing tickets for minor violations. Instead of writing tickets, enforcers were encouraged to just warn motorists about adhering to traffic regulations. Artes pointed out that pulling motorists over to issue tickets hampers traffic flow. This strategy is part of MMDA's initiative to alleviate congestion during the busy holiday season. MMDA officials also met with mall operators to discuss measures to mitigate traffic, including adjusting mall hours and delivery schedules during the holiday season. The DOTR forecasts a significant expansion of railway infrastructure and ridership by the 2030s. The country's railway lines are expected to increase to over 300% from 270.16 kilometers to 1,233 kilometers once approved projects are completed. Major upcoming projects include the North-South Commuter Railway and the Metro Manila Subway. Daily train ridership would soar nearly 500% from about 938,318 riders to 4,860,196 by the 2030s. The number of train stations is projected to rise from 85 to 216 and train cars from 290 to 1,391 by the end of this period. The Land Transportation Office has suspended enforcement of new penalties for buyers and sellers of used vehicles who fail to promptly report sales and process ownership transfers. LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza II said that this suspension aims to clarify provisions for better implementation and extend the compliance period to improve information dissemination. Senator Rafi Tulfo, a prominent critic of the original order, welcomed the decision and urged the LTO to waive penalties for motorists who made used vehicle transactions prior to the new regulations. A coalition called for the removal of LTO Chief Vigor Mendoza II over alleged corrupt practices concerning vehicle transactions and IT systems. The group alleged that under Mendoza's leadership, there have been instances of fraudulent vehicle registrations without proper insurance and inspection. Earlier, another group had similarly published a notice in newspapers demanding Mendoza's removal due to his actions being detrimental to the motoring public and the government. The LTFRB expected around 10,000 public utility jeepney operators to apply by the November 29 deadline. Chairman Teofilo Guadez III said that operators choosing to consolidate during this period are not required to acquire a new jeepney immediately, but will qualify for fuel incentives upon application. The Philippine National Railways reopened train services between Lucena and Calamba, with the first train departing in Lucena Station at 5 a.m. The route, which includes stops at multiple stations, will take passengers approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes to travel from Lucena to Calamba. The LTO National Capital Region launched a web portal allowing drivers to track the status of their licenses and request replacements for paper licenses. Vehicle owners can also locate and claim their license plates through the system. Regional Director Roque Versosa III said the online process ensures a more efficient distribution of driver's license cards, initially exclusive to select LTO offices, with plans to expand access in the future. DOTR Secretary Jaime Bautista courted Italian investors for local transport projects, seeking partnerships to alleviate government spending. During a recent summit, Bautista presented various major projects for potential investment under a public-private partnership model aimed at reducing government expenditures. The government has previously collaborated with several countries for funding transport projects, including Japan, the US, and South Korea. In November, the LTO resolved its shortage of security paper for vehicle registration, which had prompted the use of ordinary bond paper for some documents. LTO Chief Mendoza said that sufficient security papers were received on November 7 and were now being distributed to LTO regional offices. A new memorandum will be issued to establish a timeline for the printing and distribution of official vehicle registration papers, replacing the temporary ones. The LRT-1 Cavite extension opened its first phase, adding 6 kilometers and 5 new stations, bringing the total to 25 stations along 26 kilometers. During the holiday season and beyond, commuters can now travel from Quezon City to Parañaque in under an hour. New stations include facilities for persons with disabilities, and ridership is expected to increase by 80,000 daily. MMDA Director Victor Maria Nunez proposed raising fines for traffic violations to deter reckless driving, noting that increased penalties have reduced traffic on EDSA busway lanes. Last year, the Metro Manila Council approved stricter penalties for violators of the EDSA busway regulations, which include substantial fines as well as the suspension and eventual cancellation of driving licenses for repeat offenders. NLEX Corporation secured a 10 billion peso loan from China Banking Corporation to enhance infrastructure and complete projects like the nearly finished Candaba 3rd Viaduct. The tollway operator indicated that other projects in the pipeline that would benefit from the China Bank loan are NLEX C5 Link Segment 8.2, Section 1A, and NLEX Phase 3 widening. San Miguel Corporation announced plans to start construction in 2025 on the NALEX and SALEX expressways, aimed at improving connectivity to Metro Manila and Central Luzon. NALEX consists of 2 phases that will link Metro Manila to the new Manila International Airport and Central Luzon. SALEX will be an elevated expressway integrated into the Greater Capital Region's expressways network, combining the Shoreline Expressway and Metro Manila Skyway. MMDA announced that starting early next year, new towing guidelines will be implemented, allowing drivers more choices for impound locations. The new guidelines aim to reduce traffic and costs for vehicle owners, will involve 5 towing service providers covering different sectors of Metro Manila. A bidding process will be held to select the towing companies servicing each sector. The Candaba 3rd Viaduct is 97% complete and expected to open before the new year, easing congestion on NLEX. The 5-kilometer viaduct construction began in the 3rd quarter of 2023, with initial sections opening in August and October of 2024. LTO reported a significant increase in online transactions, aiming for full digitalization by 2025 to streamline services and reduce corruption. LTO Chief Mendoza also announced that the LTO is collaborating with the Department of Migrant Workers and the Department of Information and Communications Technology to facilitate online driver's license renewals for overseas workers by January. LTFRB issued special permits for PUVs and TNVS units to meet holiday demand. LTFRB Chairman Guadis emphasized that this measure is designed to ensure sufficient PUVs are available to meet the expected surge in holiday travel. Around 8,000 jeepney drivers and operators have exited the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, citing challenges stemming from operator preferences for modern vehicles. Manibela Chairman Marval Buena said that the withdrawal is due to driver who previously ran their services 5 to 6 times a week, now working only twice a week due to the cooperatives prioritizing modern PUVs.
The final quarter of 2024 can be seen as the continuation of problems and issues or development that came about or occurred in the first quarter of the year, which in turn are actually just things that remain unresolved and still in development from the previous year. We'll explain this and wrap up this special when we return after this final break.
click, click through to the system is about to be a show, be fun.
Yaris Cross, HEV. Electrify your passions.
Toyota, move your world.
Welcome back to our year-end special, a report on the happenings, events, and issues that relate to or affect everything motoring in the year that is ending. What can you say about the year 2024?
After decades of traffic congestion getting worse, more vehicles on the road, the lack of efficient and accessible public transportation, authorities and many experts already know the causes, have proposed and begun implementing solutions to problems of motorists, commuters, and pedestrians.
Hence all the developments in extending light transit lines, more linked elevated tollways in the metro, digging tunnels for the subway, repairing and upgrading major thoroughfares, clearing of secondary streets, implementing cashless payment systems. Then there's government turning to digitalization to make it more convenient for motorists to process such things as applying for and renewing licenses, renewing registration plates.
Of course, many of the solutions for the long term also come with short-term consequences, i.e. road and bridge repairs causing more congestion. Suspending train services to make way for developing a more extensive and more modern railway system. It also doesn't help that the many solutions also come with people who object to change or who don't think the solutions have been well thought through. An example, transport groups and academicians who continue to oppose the government's PUV modernization program.
Still, when we look back to 2024, we can say that there has been progress on many fronts. If all things go as planned, we'll have a railway system above and underground that can be major pillar of an efficient mass transport system. Perhaps even more modern PUVs on the road than traditional jeepneys.
Elevated tollways in the metro that don't turn into parking lots at the most inconvenient time. Barrierless entry and exit toll gates with cashless payment systems should help in that. And is it too optimistic to hope that motorists and motor vehicle owners will no longer have problems because authorities can't help but have backlogs in everything significant or trivial?
With that, we end our special report on the happenings, events, and issues that relate to or affect everything motoring in the year 2024. As we wrap up the year, we thank you for your support and looking forward to another year of keeping you informed and safe on the road. In honor of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Wee Gamboa.
And I'm Tin Gamboa.
Here's wishing you all happy holidays and
Happy motoring.